Let's ruffle some feathers, shall we? Alright, this video is going to rub some people the wrong way, but it's it's a video that I've been wanting to make for a very long time now. I actually recorded like a half a dozen versions of this over a year and a half ago. I just never published the video because I never really got what I wanted across as effectively as I otherwise might have liked to. That being said, a lot of stuff has changed in that year and a half, and I've experienced a few things. And I'm going to first give a bit of a channel update, but then also kind of give my opinions or my changed opinions on collecting, because Lord knows they have changed. All right, so just where have I been? I haven't uploaded a video, real video, since August of 2023 when I did my moving out video. That's actually when I also recorded the first version of this video. But the reason being is that between then and now, August 2023 and almost 2025 now, December 2024, I had my sophomore year of college, and I just finished, or I'm about to finish, the fall semester of my junior year. And so I've just been really busy. Just because animation takes so damn long, if I can't really do something for credit, that I don't really find it to be worth it, because I have school, papers and essays and other assignments and projects that I need to work on, and then I have work and family stuff, and that doesn't always necessarily leave room to put, aside for really complex animations. Luckily this semester I have been able to do a few things, and you'll be seeing one of them in the coming weeks. But yeah, that's the stuff with YouTube. Looking at my notes here, Instagram. For those of you who know, I have an Instagram account, but I don't do anything with it anymore. All I do is send memes to my friends. Yeah, in September 2023, my cat Egon, he died. And for some reason that just made me not care about having an online presence. I don't know what the connection is between those two, but for some reason it did, and I basically wiped most of my Instagram page. I wiped a lot. There's just some really embarrassing shit on there that I didn't want people to find, but I wiped a good chunk of pretty much all the posts. There's only like 18 or 19. There's less than 24 posts on there, and I haven't posted anything that I've kept, at least, since September 2023. I did, for about 4 weeks, post a lot of Lethal Company clips, but that's just because my friends and I were playing a shitload of Lethal Company in the late winter, early spring of this year, and the clips were just funny, and I thought I'd post them, and a lot of them actually did really, really well. A couple thousand views, a couple hundred likes a post, so, traction-wise, they did great, but those are all privated or deleted now, and I just have no interest whatsoever in keeping an online presence on Instagram. The only platform that I do keep a consistent, updated presence is my Letterboxd. I'm watching movies all the time. So, if you want to know what I think about movies or shows that are on there, that would be the only place to really see what I think about certain movies. So, yeah. Before we get into the bit of the collecting, I do have a bit of a rant to make, or a tangent to make on the YouTube scene, the animation scene on YouTube, specifically stop motion. I think it's shit right now. I think a lot of the people, or a lot of the channels that just get a lot of views are just assembly line channels, just cranking out video after video after video. Like, there's a few people I know who are posting like 7 to 10 minute long animations once a week. If you're animating 7 minutes of footage and editing all that in 1 week, something is wrong, at least I think. And a lot of these videos, they don't edit out the stand. Their sets are terrible. The lighting is bad. The quality of the animation is bad. And that sounds really fucking elitist of me, and I have some pretty shitty animations on the channel too, but when I make something, I try and make it look as good as I can. I try and have a set that looks decent, lighting that looks decent. I want to make sure the sky backdrop is big enough so that you don't see the wall or the rest of my room behind it. And a lot of the people, at least that I see, are not. They just don't do that. They don't edit out their stands. It doesn't feel like they're actually trying. And the people that are trying, they just don't get the views they deserve. My friend Captain McKay Random, he spent a year on his Mortal Kombat Choose Your Own Adventure animation, fucking fantastic. Same thing with his new Warzone episodes, and all three of those projects did not get nearly enough views as I think they should have. But Tickle Me Elmo is fighting Godzilla and it gets 2 million views or whatever. If you know the video, you know the video. But yeah, I think the animation scene on YouTube is atrocious right now. It's quantity over quality, just assembly line content that I don't like. So obviously I can't really say, maybe I shouldn't be saying much because I haven't done anything in a really long time, and I also have some pretty shit videos, like, let's be real here. But it's something that I notice, and I just want to bring up. All right, now we're going to be getting into my changed opinions on collecting. This is going to ruffle some feathers, but I don't really care. First thing is that I made the distinction between a hobby and an obsession or an addiction. Stop motion is a hobby. Watching a movie is a hobby. What I was doing with collecting was an obsession. It was an addiction. Anytime I would see something, whether it was on Instagram or Robo from the Foosh was saying, like, this figure is going up on pre-order next week, I was like, that week I was on Hobby Link Japan or Big Bad Toy Store, just like itching to click the pre-order button, and that's just not healthy. It's not healthy. It's not productive for anybody, and it's not something that I can put time, effort, or money into, and I just can't condone it anymore. This next one's a bit interesting, and it was a bit of an awakening for me at this year's G-Fest. I was standing in the middle of the dealer's room, and I just saw how much money was being wasted, or at least I think was being wasted, But I was standing in the middle of the dealer's room, and I would see literally dozens of people walking past me with $200 figures, $400. Like, I'm sure somebody bought an X Plus figure for $1,000 there. I know, I saw it. But I don't want to turn into that. That type of compulsive buying and that kind of compulsive behavior is just something that I can no longer want to indulge in, and I don't want to turn into that. I don't want to become that. Make of that what you will. What kind of subtext or connotations I mean or a meaning, but I want to avoid that fate, that future, as best I can. So I'll leave it at that. The next point is cost. This isn't something specific for me or unique to me, but I mainly collect SH Monster Arts and SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z. The good thing is that Dragon Ball Z is actually pretty cheap. You can buy a really good figure for $35 with decent, good accessories, and you can just go to Target and buy it. But then you go over to Monster Arts, and a single card Godzilla figure without any accessories is $100 before shipping and tax. It might be a little bit less if you import, but again, shipping is gonna eat up whatever money you're saving, and that's just a lot of money. That Mechagodzilla and Rodan Garuda whatever pack, $230. That's a lot of money. The Shin Godzilla 4th Night Super Duper version, $150. That's a lot of money. The Gigan Super Duper Battle version, $160. Kind of worth it, but I still bought it. but so, figures are just getting really, really expensive right now, and I don't really even want. It's just too much. It's pricing me out, and I don't even want to do it anymore. Again, this is not specific or unique to me. Everybody is feeling the pinch, whether it's NECA or Hasbro or Mezco or Hot Toys or whatever the case. Everybody is feeling the pinch. I am not an outlier in any unique position making this point. So I'll leave it at that then. The next point is other interests. I just have other interests. I bought a new camera with a really good lens that I'm using to film this right now. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and it's an investment for the future, at least I'm hoping. I have lav mics that I bought last year. I bought this tablet, which is replacing my laptop. I had to fix my computer this spring again, and there's other things that I'm interested in that I don't want to spend on figures. Because I could be just as happy or putting an investment in, as opposed to just buying a Godzilla toy. This point is the one that I'm the least sure on, and it's just kind of general Stockholm Syndrome. I've been collecting for 9 years. The first Monster Arts figure I ever bought was in 2015. It was the 94 figure at my first G-Fest. And I've been collecting for almost half my life, and that has been such a huge part of my fandom for the things that I like, for the franchises that I enjoy watching, whether it's Godzilla or Dragon Ball or My Hero Academia, although I don't watch that anymore, or at least I haven't caught up with the new season. But it's just a habit at this point. I see a new figure come up, I pre-order it or whatever the case, or I see a good deal on something and I just order it even though I don't really need it or even really want it. It's just, it's something else to get. And the Stockholm Syndrome just, for the last 9 years, has just been pulling me back and back and back and back, and it's just something I gotta stop. And I feel that it's a habit that I need to break, and that I have been somewhat successful in breaking, actually. Yeah, again, this is the point I'm the least sure of, because I'm not really sure how to express this one as well as the other ones, because there's some psychology and whatever, Stockholm Syndrome, but whatever. Next point, I just don't care. I just don't care about collecting anymore. I got the X Plus 30 centimeter Godzilla 2023, the -1 figure, and I haven't even opened it. It's still in the shipper box. Like, I haven't taken the box out of the box yet. And I just know that if I open it, I'm just going to be like, eh. Like, the dopamine just isn't there anymore. And to be fair, honestly, like, this Ichibansho Godzilla is honestly, I think, way better than that X Plus figure, and so I'm trying to get rid of it. But I don't get the thrill of the hunt anymore. I don't get a thrill when I open a new figure unless it truly, truly wows me, like the Spiral Studios Godzilla back there, or even the Ichibansho figure. I don't like it as much. I just don't really care to buy anything. The only things that I do buy now are stuff that I actually want to get and actually potentially means something to me. Or recently I've been getting a few Bandai vinyls because these things are kind of neat, and they're only $30 a piece compared to over $100 for a Monster Arts. So yeah, I just don't really care anymore about buying figures. All right, final point on my opinions on collecting or whatever, but I just feel a lot of guilt and shame about it. I've started selling a lot of the figures, and this summer I sold 2 months worth of rent to one person. And when I got the money, and I was like, I don't have to worry about living for 2 months. Like, that was when my third eye opened, and I was like, this is how much money I've been spending over the last 9 years. Like, I can't even imagine how much it actually has been. I feel so much shame for doing it too, because Like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? That's it's kind of morbid, but that's just the way I feel about some of this stuff. And I just, this is kind of a I told you so for both my parents, because when it was probably about 5 years ago or so, they were both like, maybe you should slow down on buying all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But now I'm fully on their page. I'm fully on that page, and they were totally right. So I just, you shouldn't feel shame or guilt for the things you like, but because I don't like collecting anymore, I do feel the shame and the guilt of buying and spending all of this money. Yeah, all of those points, the like 7 or 8 points that I made, they're just the way I feel about it now. Some of this stuff is not unique to me, like the cost of stuff, and maybe having other interests as well. But that G-Fest mea culpa was or eureka moment, and the guilt stuff. That stuff is unique to me, and it's just a habit, an obsession, an addiction that I can no longer condone, or at least participate in to the level that I have in the past, especially in the past like 4 years. God damn, these last 4 years I have been buying shit like crazy. So I can't condone it anymore, and I'm done. All right, so how do we break the Stockholm Syndrome? How do we not feel guilt and shame for this? And that's by selling this stuff. In the link, or in the description below, I have a link to a Google Doc that has a list of all the figures that I'm selling. There's SH Monster Arts, there's SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z, some other Figuarts stuff. What else? There's like a few wrestling figures. I don't even remember. A few Mezco things here and there, but I'm going to be selling a good chunk of my collection because I have no use for them. A lot of the stuff hasn't seen the light of day or been out of the box in months, or if not years. Some of that stuff I probably haven't even opened in like 3 years. That is kind of my method of making amends and amends with myself and fighting the inner demons or whatever. That's kind of cheesy, but that's just the way I feel. If anything in that document, on that Google Doc, looks interesting, there's contact information on there, so you can hit me up if you want to discuss buying something, or if you're on a few Discord servers that I'm in, I also post there regularly with stuff I'm selling. So that's how I'm going to be better. I think some of you might be watching this and looking behind me to my right and just saying, bro, what's that Godzilla statue for? What is that Spiral Studios like? That this wasn't cheap, as you can probably imagine based on my spiel that I've been giving. But this figure, this Spiral Studios 2014 Godzilla, is the end. A few months ago, when I bought the figure, when I paid the money, I posted on my Instagram just like a very cryptic image of one of the promo pictures with the doors. This is the end. And what this figure means to me is that this is the last thing I'm buying. It's not really the last thing I'm buying. There's still a few things over the next 7 or 8 months that I will be getting. But as far as large, indefensible purchases, this is the last thing. 2014 is my favorite Godzilla design. The movie is it's my second favorite Godzilla movie, and it's it's just, I love the design. And this is a great figure, and it's meant to be a centerpiece and a bookend to the collection, because it's a bookend and a centerpiece and something to encompass everything that I have. So this thing, it's one of my favorite things ever. I love it to bits, and it has meaning behind it. and every time I look at it, I'm just like, this is the end. That's it. That chapter of my life is done. So it's a visual reminder of my ill-informed financial past, but it's also a reminder that, you know, you had fun while it lasted, but this is the end. All right, so with the end of collecting, what does that mean for the channel? As I was stating earlier, I have really no interest in maintaining an online presence. The era of me being a YouTuber is long dead and long past. My channel is effectively dead. So there's if when I post things, it gets maybe 100 views, and I'm getting like what 60 views a day at this point. The only thing that's keeping the channel afloat is that Sticky Bones review, which for some reason has like 30,000 views for some reason. I don't know why. And that Spider-Man review as well. That got like 10,000 views as well for some reason. But point is, I don't really have many plans for the channel. I will, however, do a few things. One, I want to do one more Godzilla short battle. I had a lot of fun, you know, all those years ago making Gypsy Avenger vs. Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Gundam 1 and 2. I did shoot some of Godzilla vs. Gundam 3, but it never came out. It was actually quite ambitious for the ideas that I had, but you know, I never did anything else with it. I do want to do one more Godzilla short battle because it's kind of my roots, and I don't really think once I graduate college I'm going to have much more time to do those. So before I graduate, I will do one more Godzilla short battle. And then another thing I want to do is a Dragon Ball animation. Dragon Ball, favorite anime of all time. It's not the best, but it's my favorite. The best is Cowboy Bebop. But the Cell games, Cell Saga, Cell Android Saga is my favorite chapter, favorite portion of the show. And whenever SH Figuarts gets around to doing a redo of a Perfect Cell, I will do an animation with that. And with the same hopeful energy or whatever, same style as Johnny McHone's Broly animation. This is one of the best stop motions, one of the best Dragon Ball Z stop motions I've ever seen. There's so much energy, so much kineticism. It's really fantastic stuff, and I rewatch it like every few months because it's just so damn good. And so whenever Bandai gets around to remaking or redoing a Perfect Cell, I will do a Dragon Ball animation because I do want to do one. I haven't done one, and I think it would be a lot of fun and something different for me and for the channel. But as of right now, there's no prototype, there's no announcements, so I don't know when this is going to be. I might also do something for Kid Buu. Kid Buu is my favorite form of Majin Buu. But again, there's no word about when a Figuarts figure of that is coming out. So as far as the Dragon Ball animation is concerned, it's pretty dependent on the figures that come out. But I do want to do it. So a Godzilla short battle eventually, and then hopefully a Cell or potentially a Kid Buu fight scene, because I think those would be really fun. Alright, so what does this all mean for the channel when it comes to collecting? Because stop motion, it uses action figures and whatever, the channel is kind of done. The channel, I mean, let's be real here, and I said this earlier, the channel is dead. I get less than 100 views a day. I don't even know how I'm still gaining subscribers occasionally. But yeah, the channel is dead, and I've long since tried to be a YouTuber, and the time to be a YouTuber is long dead, long gone. So I'm not necessarily quitting YouTube, but I'm also not going to be dedicating much time to it because I don't really want to, I'll be honest. Once I do the short battle, and if a Cell Saga animation or Kid Buu animation ever comes out, I don't have many plans after that. I'm working on stuff for college with the university. I'm hoping to get a movie club back up and running at the university so that we can just, like, spend a semester and make a movie that can be shopped around film festivals. My good friend Kaijuzilla 621, he made Gnomes, a really good movie, and it was really successful, in LA and the film festivals that he submitted it to. And he just finished shooting Anamoya, and he's currently editing that. So that's the kind of stuff I want to do, and he's honestly a real inspiration for what I want to be spending my time and my life doing. So I don't really see much going on with the channel at this point. I don't see much going on with my Instagram. I probably might even delete Instagram soon, or I don't really even know. The only social media I keep up to date is my Letterboxd, and I already said that earlier. So if you made it this far, thank you. I know this video is going to ruffle some feathers, rub some people the wrong way, but it's something that I needed to say. Collecting is no longer a hobby for me, and it's an obsession that I need to break. And I want to avoid becoming a man-child hugging his dinosaur toys, and move on. I don't want people to take offense to any of this stuff either. This is just kind of how I feel about it myself. I'm not necessarily talking about anyone in specific outside of the shitty YouTube animations. There really was no good way to put this outside of just being blunt, because that's just my style. That's just how I preferred communicating. And I hope that people watching this are mature enough to understand that and have a good faith discussion about this stuff. So, yeah. That's about it. I hope you have a good Christmas. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Yeah. See ya.